Whoa, what's up, guys? We had some technical difficulties. Sorry for starting a little bit late here, but we have it figured out now, we hope. Anyways.
Fingers crossed, yeah.
Yeah, no doubt. Let's see. Looks like we got some people in the chat already. Nice. Yeah, about time. I know. Technical difficulties, brain farts. We had all of it combined. It's not good. Jeez. Anyways, Kyle, what are we talking about today?
Well, a bit of bad news today. I got an echo over there on your end. You have your phone volume up? Something's going on. Anyways, talking about Cam Akers. I mean, everybody else is talking about Cam Akers, but so are we with a twist.
Yeah, no doubt. Looking for that silver lining, you might say?
Yeah. We're going to go shopping a little bit in some of our Dynasty leagues here and see if we can't help out some people that want to replace it. Mascot's over here playing with her dog toys. So
yeah, no doubt. I think she wants to play. Love it.
Unironically, it is a football squeak toy. So
now that I like. Yeah. So I mean, the Akers thing. I woke up to that news this morning, and
I did too. It broke my heart.
Oh yeah, that's sad. I mean, it was going to be a good year for him. I'm fairly convinced. So. Really sad for the guy. And with it being Achilles, that's quite the injury.
That's a tough one to bounce back from. I mean, you see people bouncing back from ACL, MCLs all the time now, but Achilles is tough,
dude,
especially football.
It's not going to be easy. From everything I've heard, it's actually like he can't come back from that in a good way. Not like he'll never kind of be himself again, which is really sad.
Yeah. So we're going to see if we can't help some people. I actually do have him in Redux, and I'm hoping I can get something for him. But we'll see. I mean, honestly, I don't expect to get what he was worth before the injury, but
no doubt
he'll be useful to some degree, I think, when he comes back, but he's not going to be a workhorse, I don't think.
Yeah, I mean, like James says, Marlon Mack did the same thing, so we may see. Yeah, that might be a good test case. We'll see how he does. And
it's a good point, yeah.
If he does fine, then maybe things will be fine. Hard to say. I'm interested to see how that goes. So
I am too.
Do you want to share your screen and kind of walk through some stuff, or do you want me to share mine? Do you have yours pulled up?
I do. Let me hit share here real quick.
I'm trying to fix some of our technical difficulties still, so it'll be good if you share there for a
second. I was still struggling a little bit.
Yeah, to hide your, that sharing bar. Yeah, cool.
I just haven't got there yet. So right now I'm in the Grow Your Page League, which it's funny. We actually gave cadets a hard time during the draft.
Yeah,
because you can only start 2 running backs, and everybody roasted him for drafting one in the first 3 rounds. Well, guess what? Akers goes down. Boom. He's got Edwards-Helaire and Montgomery.
Yeah, I mean, he was even mad about it. He even asked during the draft to take his pick back and try to get it someone else, because he didn't realize how the teams were set up and the starting lineups were set up, and everyone told him too bad so sad. We were about 5 picks down, and then he's been trying to sell Montgomery, trying to trade him off and everything, and now it ended up paying off for him because now he's got 2 decent running backs, even though Cam Akers went down. So
little did we know he was playing 4D chess, and we were all playing checkers.
Now, typically, what I would be doing right now is trying to pounce on someone who is now down a running back, hurting at that position because their number 1 running back just went down, maybe the number 2, but that's where I'd be going. But on this one, this could be a buy low situation. Our running back situation in this league struggles a little bit.
It's not great.
It might be a good buy low situation.
Yeah, so we got Swift, Davis, and Gus Edwards is pretty much our running back room. It's not great.
It's not great.
So,
but where else is he hurting at? He's hurting at wide receiver pretty bad, right?
He's got Claypool and Judy.
Oh, okay, so he's not really hurting per se. He
I wouldn't
just,
say he's struggling, but
you know who he really wanted. You know who we could trade to get him. I'm not a fan of doing this possibly,
who's that?
but he wanted Ayuk, and
We don't have. You're thinking of the other league.
oh yeah, we didn't end up getting him, right?
Yeah. Just
Never mind.
got him
That's right.
in this league.
Well, that's sad. Here I was thinking, oh, we might have something. Yeah, I got that mixed up then. Dang. That is too bad. Because that would have been nice. I'm trying to see what else he has on here. Yeah, I mean, St. Brown is our number 2, so we don't necessarily have wide receivers to give.
I don't feel like we don't
match up.
I don't feel like we really match up here because, he's got 2 pretty decent. We got 2 pretty decent. We can't really upgrade him a ton.
The best we could do is upgrade him at tight end.
Yeah, we could upgrade him at tight end if he views Irv or Johnny Smith as a tight end, as an upgrade over Troutman. I mean, I think he took him maybe before we took them. So he was pretty high on Troutman. So
he took him at 905. We got Irv at 802. So we got Irv Smith first. We got Jonnu at 915. So we got Irv quite a bit in front of that.
So we maybe could make that move, but I mean,
I don't think it's strong enough to get Cam Akers. We're gonna have to give up. I mean,
yeah,
I guess
we don't have a good running back to throw him back in that deal. Also, like we go from Davis to Gus Edwards, or
I would throw in some picks, but well, those still somehow are locked up. So.
Those are still locked up. So for the purposes of this league, I don't think we're gonna be able to do anything.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think we're kind of stuck here.
So I say let's switch back over here where we were shopping last week on stream. Gives us another opportunity. I am not sure who has Akers in this league, to be honest with you.
Yeah, James is right. Could you imagine if he traded him away and then this happened? Like, he still would have had CEH, but still only 1 running back versus 2. Yeah, that would have sucked. It would have been, he would have been buying back for sure. Usually you have buyer's remorse. He would have had seller's remorse, maybe.
It's not.
Is that a thing?
Here it is.
Who has him?
Potorowski, I think that's it. Yeah, Potorowski.
Okay. Oh, he's not hurting at running back at all.
No, he's already got Taylor and Carson.
Jeez. He's got Taylor, Carson, Ronald Jones. Okay. Damian Harris.
We can't really upgrade him at receiver any. Or tight end. So I guess we're
I guess there's nothing there. How did he get that team?
These two.
That's a decent team.
The people that got a hold of Cam Akers drafted deep at running back. So we don't have.
Yeah, there's nothing really available there. That's surprising.
Yeah, it is.
Now this is the nature of our channel. We're doing this in real time. We didn't do research ahead of this. This is what we would typically be doing. It's just coming on here and looking through this, and well, this is the disappointment that you get sometimes.
Didn't we send an offer last week to him with Sutton and Goddard in it though?
I feel like we have an outstanding trade to him though.
Oh, is that one to him? Let's see.
Yeah.
Oh, it sure is. Carson, Goddard, Sutton for Mike Evans, Mike Davis, and Tyler Higbee.
Yeah.
We could switch Carson for Akers out in there maybe and get our Goddard, Sutton, but I don't know if he'd go for that.
I don't know either. Also, though, got to win this year. Got to stay in it. Bottom 3 teams get kicked out, right?
That's the
other one too. Sorry, man. It's so hard. Keep track of these leagues.
This is these 2 leagues in Corey's brain. They're just merging together into one big dynasty league.
Yeah, not great. Who's got him? You had him in Redux, right?
Yeah, in Redux, I've got him.
But you had Henderson already.
I haven't really figured out a plan of attack with him yet. I did have Darrell Henderson already. But yeah, down here on IR, I got my boy Akers chilling.
So yeah,
I was so excited to get him at the beginning of the fourth, and then his Achilles blew up.
Yeah, and it's hard because that sell value right now, like we were looking at maybe, I don't know, buying him off of somebody maybe, but at the same time, like if we're thinking he doesn't really recover well from this injury, then do we really want to do that? I don't think so. That makes me really nervous if he's never going to be the man there now.
Yeah, I mean, it makes me nervous. Like I was saying earlier, I think he'll come back and be useful, but it may be him and Henderson splitting 50-50.
Right, he's not going to be the big
he
time.
He won't come back and be a workhorse, I don't think.
No.
But I don't know. I mean, he could recover just fine and come back 100% and just blow everybody's minds. You never know.
No, I agree. Dang,
I do think I will try to sell him over here once I kind of get a chance to go through everybody's rosters and see.
Now, question, with him being as good as he is and stuff, like, why are you looking to sell?
Just because that comeback value, that comeback is going to be tough, but also because I'm trying to win now.
Yep. Okay.
I
thought that. I just wanted you to say it.
Versus down the road, like I attacked the startup draft so that I could try to win immediately.
Right.
So if some of these people are looking down the road a little bit, maybe I can get something for him there. I'm not going to get anywhere near the value he was worth before this injury, but if I can get something useful for him.
Something better than nothing. Yeah. And if you can sell him to someone like Jason, who doesn't have a win now approach and he doesn't really have a win later approach either, then, maybe you can get something for him.
Maybe.
Derryberry says, the study from 2017 said running back with a ruptured Achilles have lost about 78% value. So it'll be interesting to see how Mac does this year, kind of seeing how that. A follow-up question from James. What about your team do you think is win now?
Well, it was win now before he got hurt. Oh, shoot. I don't know. I got a pretty nice little mix of super young guys and kind of in their prime guys and stuff. Like, I don't know. I think it's just structured to win now. It's not all rookies, full rebuild mode. So,
yeah. Now, going through everything that I had seen, the Fantasy Kings over on Instagram says Achilles is a death wish for RBs. Get what you can for him. Don't trade for him. Yeah, I feel like that's kind of where I'm at with things too. I don't think I want to trade for him at all. And I think you sell and get whatever you can out of him.
Yeah, there's Jason right there.
Yep, I'll take Akers in right situation. I mean, in the right situation, it's worth the gamble, especially if you're hurting or for running backs in a dynasty. If you can get him up for the right price.
If he does come back, why not?
But you don't also want to just kill your team this year for a shot in the dark of hope maybe he comes back, maybe he doesn't. And if he does, then he's RB3. He's like flex worthy at that point, because he's such a split. And it's just going to be question marks. We won't know for, a year and a half.
A year before
his value. Know. Oh, it'll be before that. We'll have to know. He'll have to be into the next season and see how they use him and things like that before we ever know. So we're a year and a half away from knowing anything about him, where his career is at.
I also want to follow up on James' question. I want to follow up on James' follow-up question and just say I think about 90% of him asking that was just trash talk.
Oh, he's trolling.
Because he's been crapping on me in the chat of that league.
That's how Canadians trash talk right there, I think. That's
why are you winning now there, buddy?
The Fantasy Kings also said, but don't trade him right now. Wait until the hype of his recovery comes later because people might be willing to pay more for him. I kind of agree. I think that the hype on recovery can get you more value. But I also feel right now there's a lot of people that don't know that the Achilles is that serious, that it's hard to come back from, or B, they think that they're buying super low because someone else is desperate and selling. So there's a lot of mental directions that can go there. I think you sell him if you find the right deal, and then if you don't find the right deal, then you just hold on to him until that hype comes on. I mean, it just has to be the right situation.
Yeah.
For whatever you value that as.
Yeah, I mean, if I'm not getting anything for him, I'll wait and see what happens. I mean,
well, and also you have to look at the rest of your roster. If you don't have running backs now because he was your number 1 or number 2, and you have to fill multiple running back spots on your roster, you're selling for anything. I mean, because you have to.
If I didn't have Henderson, I would have been more concerned about it.
Right. Yep. Having Henderson really helps you. But, man, yeah, I think if your roster is really thin now at running back right now, you're selling and figuring out what you can get. Fantasy Kings over here said, that's true. If people aren't aware of how serious it is, solid move. It's really situation dependent. You're absolutely right. So
it is. Everybody plays
right.
different. So
I'm right now and then. I need you people to tell my wife that that's actually a thing. So
you just never. Everybody views everything different. Everybody has different strategies. That's what makes fantasy football so much fun.
But there is no universal law. Yeah, fantasy football is always a gamble. Like you drafted Akers, it's a gamble. Every time you have someone on your team, you're gambling with it. That's what's great. It's unpredictable. It doesn't matter how good you are at the game or anything like that. Injuries hit at the wrong time. And I mean, you could be in the middle of your championship game and your star player goes down with an injury, is what it is. He plays one series, your running back plays one series, hurts his toe, and they sit him out because it's almost playoff time and they don't want to risk anything. And it's just like, okay, well, I just lost my championship because of that. It's just an unpredictable game, but that's what makes it fun too. It makes it irritating, makes me yell at my TV a lot. Almost ruined Christmas for me this year, but
it makes you rage.
Alvin Kamara ruined Christmas for me this year, but I still won. But that's not the point. The point is I was very mad on Christmas Day.
Jason says I have a stack full of RB1s on my bench. Let's test that theory here, huh?
I mean, if I remember correctly, his RBs are not horrible. I don't know if I'd call them RB1s.
Tevin Coleman, Kenyon Drake, Leonard Fournette, Chase Edmonds.
I mean, you've got some flex plays in there.
Edmonds could be RB1. Fournette, probably not. Probably Rojo. Drake's not because of Jacob. Coleman, who knows? Nobody knows for sure what's going to happen with the Jets, but my money's on Michael Carter, obviously, because I drafted him.
I mean, Tony's got all the best running backs for the next 9 to 14 years, I believe, right? I wish he was on here.
I wish he was on here too.
It's amazing how we can all trash talk each other. It's so funny. We all know each other so well.
It's so good to have everybody back together, man.
Yeah. And even the newbies are fantastic.
The newbies are fun.
We did a really good job with our Redux League, man. We did a really good job with putting that together. I'm happy with that.
James trash talk is on point. I love it. Tony, he was always, me and him always roast each other. So
no doubt.
It's gonna be a fun season. Really fun season.
On another note, and I'm just gonna switch gears here a little bit because these kind of pooped out on us. We don't really have any trade opportunities here.
It didn't really work out, did it?
No, so I'm gonna switch gears here a little bit. Here's my
deal. You want me to stop sharing here?
Oh, I mean, this is mine. It doesn't matter.
Oh, you're already on yours? Okay.
Yeah.
I'll get rid of mine. You don't need it.
Yeah. So I'm gonna switch over to our Roll Tide League really quick because you have Akers in there. That was gonna be your keeper until we pulled that big trade for Dalvin Cook.
And then I was going to try to trade him, and, well, that's out.
Yeah, I mean, what are the odds of that you ended up trading for Cook instead of going with Akers? So my thing with this, though, is that I know we were talking the other day. I was still having a hard time figuring out who my keepers were going to be. And So I was going through like what running backs are going to be available in the draft, what wide receivers are going to be available in the draft. Like if I'm picking at pick 6, so I was going through the running backs, and Cam Akers was like the number 1 running back for me going back into the draft. Him or like Aaron Jones. And now that thins that a little bit because I know we listed them out because I was trying to figure out who I was going to let go back in. Let me pull up my team really quick. So I'm still trying to figure out who I want to keep. And I was thinking if I let Eckler go back in, if I kept like Ridley and Kelsey, right? We're in full PPR now. But that would let Eckler go back in. That would put Eckler, Mixon, Jones, was going to be Cam Akers, Najee Harris, J.K. Dobbins, Swift will probably go back in. I mean, we're up to at least 6 there. I think that was 7 maybe.
You just list 6. It was 7 with Akers, but
yeah, right. That's what I was getting at but you got to subtract 1 with Akers. So I was still thinking pretty good.
You still have a shot at a really good running back in that first round.
Yeah, the issue is, do I like Eckler more than I like Dobbins, Mixon, or Jones? I mean, more than Dobbins. But
honestly, if you get any of those in the first round, you're doing pretty good.
Yeah, to go with like Ridley or Kelsey.
To go with Ridley and Kelsey.
The only reason I'm considering Eckler is because we just moved to full PPR, right? Like, and then Ridley. Wide receiver wise,
I think you might have at this point, just because of how many people are trying to keep running backs. I'm thinking Eckler, Kelsey is probably the move. Over Ridley.
I'm just looking here of what. We're thinking Devontae Adams might go back into the draft. If I let Ridley go, Ridley, McLaurin, A.J. Brown, Keenan Allen, Robinson. So we're up to 6 wide receivers there too. If I let Ridley go back, then I can get one of them, no problem.
Right. And I think it'd be smarter strategy to keep a running back, not take what's left at running back, because taking what's left at receiver won't hurt your team as bad out of that group.
I agree.
So I think Eckler, Kelsey is the move as far as your keepers there.
I agree. And if we just named off, and this is just me, because I tend to I value running backs a lot because of this, because they can get hurt and they're harder to replace than a wide receiver. I can look down this wide receiver list and I'm happy getting people. I'm happy down here getting Boyd and Brown. We're way down the list here, guys. Like, I'm happy getting some of these. Fonte Smith. There's some good rookies that I think have some value. Sutton, Judy, Beckham. So I'm happy so far down the list here.
My pick is at 2.9, and I'm going to end up with, one of these guys a little ways down here, and I'm perfectly okay with that as my wide receiver 1,
So looking at what I got here, the guys going back into the draft will be Eckler. Harris will be there. Swift may be there. That's hard to say.
Akers will be there.
Aaron Jones. Nick's keeping CEH, right? Is that what we determined? No, he's keeping.
No.
Who's that wide receiver? He's keeping a wide receiver. Hopkins. That's right. Okay. So Clyde Edwards-Helaire will be there. Dobbins, Mixon,
Montgomery. You don't want him, but he'll be there.
Yeah, but so that's 6 running backs.
Same with Sanders. Carson.
Wait, who did I say? Yeah, but I don't want to take Carson at like 6.
I know you don't want to take him that early, but I'm just saying there's some.
Dang it, I lost track of who I had said. Because I've got to leave one out. I'm saying like
Eckler, Harris.
That's not necessarily true.
Swift,
there's no way there's going to be 5 running backs go before me. So what I'm saying is
somebody will take Adams, probably,
or Calvin Ridley. Those guys are going to go, right? So it's possible that I keep Kelsey Eckler and get back a Joe Mixon, J.K. Dobbins, Najee Harris. It's very possible I get Najee Harris there at number 6. You'll have a hard time with that.
Yeah,
I
2
can
starting running backs and the stud tight end, you're in good shape.
I mean, that's really good shape. And then I pick again at 110, where I can pick up one of these wide receivers like Cooper won't be there.
Godwin, DJ Moore.
I mean, there's talent there to be had.
Higgins, Ayuk. Like, there's some guys.
There's really good wide receiver talent that'll be there at 10. Yeah. So I can keep a running back, and then I can have 2 good running backs and dominating tight end. I mean, it's pretty decent start.
I think that's the route I would go. I mean,
yeah, just seeing what's going to be available there.
I know you wanted to keep Ridley because it's full PPR, but if you get the right running backs, it's even more beneficial.
Yeah, but I mean, you think about running backs available. Eckler, I mean, he's a great PPR running back. I mean, it is what it is. Mm-hmm. And so if the running backs that are going back in, he's easily the most receiver-friendly running back, So there's value there. So I feel like I kind of have to do that,
Totally.
So I'm thinking Kelsey, Eckler, and then pick up whatever top running back or wide receiver. Again, can't go in with a set plan. You can never go into a draft with an absolute set plan because someone might surprise you and go Patrick Mahomes in those top 5 picks. And then you have someone like McLaurin or A.J. Brown or something dropping to you. Yeah, if I have A.J. Brown drop to me at pick 6, I mean, I'm not going to pick a J.K. Dobbins over A.J. Brown.
I wouldn't either.
So that could happen. That could easily happen. There's so many good wide receivers and running backs going in that in those top 6, I could get them. Okay, so let me name that again. I can go Ridley, Mixon, Jones. They're all going in, so that's 3. Then McLaurin, A.J. Brown, and Devontae Adams. That's 6. So I'm going to get one of those top 6 players.
Mm-hmm.
That's incredible. I'll take that all day.
Yeah.
So, and then like I said, someone might jump in there and maybe they do like J.K. Dobbins. I like J.K. Dobbins. Don't get me wrong. He's not as high up on my list as these other guys are.
Agreed.
McLaurin is higher on my list this year with Fitzpatrick being a quarterback. I think that gives him a big boost, honestly.
I like McLaurin anyways.
I mean, he's a stud. And they can't focus on him as much this year because there's actually other wide receiver talent there.
Curtis Samuel, man, that's going to do wonders for that.
Yeah, it's going to open him up more. He may get less targets, maybe. But his targets that he does get will be higher quality. So I love McLaurin. I think that's the best situation possible for me. So that I don't miss out on a running back that I really want. Because honestly, Ridley, McLaurin, Brown, if I get one of those 3, or Adams, I don't think Adams will drop to me at 6, because by then we'll probably know about Aaron Rodgers too. Anyways, so of those 4 wide receivers, let's say, I love Ridley because I've had him last year and I have him in multiple leagues already this year. But I mean, of those 4 wide receivers, they're all kind of even in my mind. I don't mind getting any of those 4. Personal preference for Ridley, but yeah, I'm fine with any of those.
And it's a full PPR deal, so I know that's kind of the reason you were looking at keeping Ridley in the first place. But You've also got to take into consideration who the other teams are keeping and how they tend to draft. And these guys tend to draft pretty running back heavy.
Right. Yep.
So
everyone's looking for running backs in this league.
So keeping Eckler and drafting one of those top running backs that goes back in, I think is going to be way more beneficial to you than keeping Ridley.
I agree.
And hoping to draft one of those running backs.
Yep. And I love to have running back depth. I know some people go the no running back way. For me, a running back, because a running back can go down anytime. They're harder to replace. It's harder to guess who's going to take over if they get hurt. People are rushing to that waiver wire. I prefer to have a little depth there. And I like to have that depth because if someone gets hurt on another team, now I have trade value, really high trade value. I don't find as much value in wide receivers, and maybe I'm crazy for that, but I find that they're easier to replace. They're easier to plug and play even on a weekly basis. Wide receivers are so deep, and then go into a PPR, even more so. They just kind of become more relevant. So it could be someone that doesn't even pick up a lot of yards, but gets a lot of underneath passes and stuff. I mean, heck, I won last year in the semifinals with Devontae Adams. He had like 36 yards or something in a game, but he had 10 catches. And so I won. I was playing against him in a standard scoring league and had him in a half PPR league, and I won both of those games because the half PPR gave me a big boost, and in standard scoring it wasn't worth anything. But there are more quote unquote like kind of worthless, lesser wide receivers that can get that same kind of action, get a lot of catches, but not a lot of yards. But in a full PPR, that's worthwhile.
Yeah, I mean, receivers deep, but it still gives you an advantage if you can get one of those truly elite.
Yeah, if you can get one, that would be incredible. But
and it's kind of the same way at tight end. It's top heavy. There's about 4 or 5 guys that are studs that make a difference, and then there's like 10, 12 guys that are exactly the same.
Yep.
And that's kind of how receiver is. I feel like there's about 8 to 10 like true studs that stand out, and then like there's a big chunk that's just all the same guy.
Yeah, I agree.
I think having two top running backs in this league is going to give you a huge advantage. And then, of course, Kelsey, which honestly, the only thing I'm really hoping for in this draft is that either Kittle or Waller falls to me at 2.9.
I think Waller, I think either one of them will. There's a lot of hype on Waller this year, so maybe he jumps Kittle in a lot of people's minds with Kittle coming, from an injury. So, but I think one of them should.
Well, and like we just talked about too, there's so many running backs and receivers going back in this year. I'm hoping some of that kind of takes people's focus off of them, and one of them falls to me.
Right.
But yeah. I'll have a plan B if that doesn't happen.
What do I have?
It won't be.
I have 205, so I picked 3 times before you. So I'll have multiple chances at Kittle or Waller as a nice flex.
And I know you would too, because you've done it before.
I've absolutely done it.
Because there's all this other talent on the deal, and you've done that before just to be a jerk.
No, I did it last year. I did it last year in our family league. I took both Kelsey and Kittle, and that's a 8-team league that we're in, and we took Kelsey and Kittle, and I was able to trade Kittle to a really struggling team because they didn't have a tight end, and I ended up getting Dalvin Cook in the deal.
Yeah, you took advantage of David.
No, that was a good trade until the injuries. But yeah, I ended up getting that, and it won me the championship. I mean, and even so, had Kittle not gotten hurt, having him in my flex spot, him and Kelsey starting week in, week out. I mean, that's Kittle scores more than most flex. I mean, having him in your flex, he's
actually. I want to go over this because I did this looking for the TCK pod I did the other day. We ended up not having time to cover it. So I want to run over this. So Kelsey last year would have been he scored the same as what would have been the number 4 wide receiver.
Okay.
In half PPR. So this is going to be about the same or even better in full PPR. But this is what happened in Roll Tide last year. So Kelsey was – oh, no. I take that back. This is full PPR because I looked in Redux. I used those numbers. So full PPR, Kelsey was the number 4 wide receiver between Diggs and Hopkins. Waller was the number 6 wide receiver between Ridley and Metcalf. But then you even look at you drop down to Logan Thomas was the number 3 tight end. He was down between Aguilar and Russell Gage at wide receiver. That's the drop-off in tight end. Hawkinson was number 4 between David Johnson and Edwards-Helaire.
Wow.
So
What?
the points on those guys, Kelsey had 313 points. Waller had 283. Logan Thomas had 185.
I mean, look, Kelsey outscored Ridley and no, this isn't an order of points. Hold on. This ain't right. I was like, there's no way that he outscored Diggs and
Oh,
stuff.
you got quarterbacks in there too.
Yeah, I just did all. I was just curious on like
you just click flex though, and it'll cut out the quarterbacks. But
I was trying to. Can I do flex? Oh, there it is. It's under more.
Yeah, and then click points at the top. It'll put it in order.
So yeah, this is in order now.
Yeah,
look,
Kelsey scored between Diggs and Hopkins in wide receiver points last year.
Jeez, Pete.
Yeah,
that's wild, man. Jefferson, Waller.
I mean, when you're looking at
Metcalf,
Waller to Logan Thomas, 2 to 3 tight end, 283 to 185. That's 100-point difference.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That's insanity.
That's nuts to kind of look at that. When you look at it that way, it's interesting.
Yeah, it's a huge advantage. And that's why I like tight ends.
Yeah, I had multiple trades out to Austin trying to trade away Kelsey for some picks and stuff, and I actually retracted all of them.
That didn't work out, huh?
Yeah, I actually just went back one day and I convinced myself like I have to keep Kelsey, and I pulled all of those offers.
I'm keeping Kelsey. Convince the rest of the guys that we need 3 keepers so that I can keep McCaffrey, Cook, and Kittle. And then, like, I'll be
I will never, now that you have Cook and McCaffrey, I will absolutely never vote in favor of 3 keepers.
Well, eventually those guys will get old, move on, and then where will I be?
Oh, you'll be fine, is where you'll be.
I'll figure out a way to get 2 more ridiculous keepers at some point.
Yes,
down
you will.
The road.
So yeah, I'm happy with that. I'm happy with where I'm at on that. Anyways, that's all I got on that.
That's all I've got, period. I think we're going to beat everything to death tonight that we were going to talk about.
Yep. Yeah, I'm cool with that. Man, what a disappointing thing for Cam Akers, dude. All the hype, all that, and
it was. I was so excited to have Cam Akers in Redux. Like, I was like, man, I got McCaffrey and Akers. I'm so good. And then
I'm just glad I didn't troll you and I actually went Najee Harris instead, knowing you would want Cam Akers.
Yeah.
I'm glad I didn't troll you.
It's just one of them things, man. Stuff happens. I mean, every year somebody gets hurt, right? It just happened to be someone that I really liked this year.
Yep. No, I totally agree. Also, what league was that in? We got, let's see. Okay. Hold on. James just put Henry and Zeke on the block over in our post draft. What a jerk. He's not trading those guys. Get out of here. He's trolling us on stream right now. I know what's going on. I'm onto this guy. I'm not taking that bait. I know he's not going to trade them to us.
That's funny. We don't, like, do we even need him over here?
We don't have anywhere where we can really help him out anyways. The best we can do is upgrade, like, maybe his flex. And, his tight end could use some work. He's got Hooper as a starting tight end. He could use some work.
That's where we got Higbee. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hunting Higbee for Zeke there, James. That's an official offer.
I would throw a trade, or I would throw a pick in there too.
Like a 4.
Hit us up, James. We'll do it on stream.
As Tony would do, I'll give you Seneca Wallace for him. Every time I've had a player on my roster get hurt in the last 12 years, he's offered me Seneca Wallace for him. It's an inside joke. It's pretty hilarious because I don't think Seneca Wallace has played in almost 10 years, but
yeah, it's been quite some time.
But it cracks me up every time still.
Well, maybe we can get James to get on here sometime, and maybe we can get a trade going there.
Yeah, we need some Elliott on our team. I think
I would love to have Zeke on our team.
I don't think I've ever had Zeke on a team. Every year, I think I got a shot at him. someone overdrafts him or takes him right before me or something. It just never works out. Just never works out.
It happens often, actually. All right, man. You ready to wrap this up?
Yeah, man. Let's call it a night. Sorry we couldn't find any trades in those leagues.
That sucks, but
we advertised it as, but honestly, like you say, we do it in real time, and we were just as disappointed as you are. So, but if something happens in Redux, if I do something in Redux with Akers, then we'll cover that down the road.
Yeah. Awesome, guys. We'll talk to you later.
All right. Have a good night.